Hello everyone and welcome to MagicGatheringStrat. I'm Binkabi and this will be a little teaser video. One could say I'm sitting here waiting for the pre-releases to get up. It's a while before it goes up, but it's okay. Meanwhile, I've been taking on some new decks, and yeah, most of my projects never leave this stage, unfortunately, because I lose interest or I don't think it's good enough. You can see out here I have a pretty good supply of modern decks, and I've already cleaned this up a bit, so yeah. But anyway, I've been taking on 3 new decks. Right now I have somewhere around 5 more that I'm interested in trying out. So I thought it would be fun to go over them and see what you guys think. If you think the decks looks good or playable, which one should I try to play first, and so on. Of course I can't do it before I get the cards. Some of the cards is clearly available right now, like for example Shadow Mage, but some of them are not because they haven't been opened yet, like Thief. So let's dig in. We have 3 decks to go through, and yeah, this is the first one. I call it clean and simply Thieves, and the thought process here was Shadow Mage is one of my favorite cards. It's super good, and drawing cards is always nice. And now we have Thief, which is basically the same, but prowess allows for more damage. If they have a black or blue creature that can actually stop this, it will be stopped permanently, while Thief can get through pretty easily. So they're both very good, and I think that's enough to make me want to try this deck out. So we have Delvers, which works well with instants and sorceries, which we need to push our card drawing engines through. So that's a natural fit. The last card I added to the deck was actually Young Pyromancer, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go red or not, but it's kinda nice to get some lightning bolts in there, and Kolaghan's command has grown on me, so I have 1 in the main, and right now only 2 in the sideboard. That's the only sideboard, but sideboard comes later on. Then we have the tempo spells, like a couple of Vapor Snags, some cheap counter spells, Dispel. I'm gonna try out the Send to Sleep. It seems pretty nice for 2 mana instant to just tap down their team. There are rarely more than 2 creatures in play, so hopefully we have some remands to buy us time. And I've added 4 Disrupting Shoals as well, so you can easily go like turn 1 Delver, turn 2 Pyromancer, and then like Disrupting Shoal, a removal spell like an Electrolyze or something, pitching, whatever. And once you've connected with one of those, it should be fairly easy to win the game. You will have remands, Disrupting Shoals, and some more counter magic to keep you going, and you really don't need that many hits before they're beyond salvation. Then you finish them off with some lightning bolts. 20 lands could be a bit too much, but I have 1 Desolate Lighthouse. It's also kinda good if they manage to wreck everything and you're sitting there with like a counter spell and 1 burn spell. It's kinda nice to be able to loot through your deck and find more lightning bolts. Possible Snapcaster should be in here too. I feel like it's a bit too dense on creatures that way. Maybe not. Maybe we should go down like a thief or 2 to add to Snapcasters. That's the testing part, of course, so we will see. Let's move on to the next one. I've talked about it earlier already. Let's see where it is. There we go. There we are. Madness. I'm not really done with this decklist then. I'm not feeling super happy. First of all, it's mono black, and I don't like that. And I hate running this much discard, but the thing is, I want to get up to this, to descend into madness. I'm gonna try out the Dark Petition, and I'm going to try out Demonic Pact. So the obviously the plan with this deck is to make land drops, make them discard their good cards, and with the Thoughtseizes, Inquisitions, Wrench Mines, and Ravenous Rats, so that you can use Assigning Blood or Read the Bones or Phyrexian Arena to reload. Then you drop something that they kind of have to do something about, like a Phyrexian Obliterator, and then you slam Descend into Madness, and from there it should be pretty easy to win, because you have card draw, and you have discards, and you have token generators, and you have the Demonic Pacts that you can exile to Descend into Madness. And be aware that this should be done on the third trigger, not the fourth, because then you die. So don't do that. When you use the third ability, you should exile it with Descend into Madness. Because once you're getting control of the board, you don't really need that much to win. What you have to watch out for is, of course, if you let this go too far and you don't have anything to win the game with. We have 3 Phyrexian Obliterators, 2 Ravenous Rats, and 3 Bitter Blossoms. The rats can actually win the game, but probably not. It's most likely going to be Bitter Blossom or a Phyrexian Obliterator, but I think this is kind of nice. And I've added some 1 of 3 drops just for Dark Petition. You cast it for 5, you get 3 back, and you can play either a sick card draw engine, a super good Planeswalker, or a one-shot card draw. It kind of depends. I mean, if you have Descent going, then you might be able to go for Demonic Pact or something, but overall I think this could be a pretty good lockout deck. So we'll see. The one card that's obviously missing here and is misplayed. I mean, Lotus Bloom should be Dark Ritual, that's basically it, but Dark Ritual is not legal, so that would be kind of hard to do. And that stings a lot, because that would make this deck, in my opinion, fairly competitive. Then you can go like turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 whatever, turn 3 Descend into Madness, and that's pretty good. Now we have to wait until turn 4. Might not be the end of the world, but any turn you draw this besides turn 1, it's pretty bad. So because you just need this mana on turn 1 and nothing else. So we will see. Maybe this will take off, maybe not. I think we have to rework it a little bit, but we will see. Also, I don't like Liliana in the deck, because yes, they have to discard, but you have 2, and you can't really afford that with Descend into Madness. You have to have the 2-for-1s. Those are just for early interaction and nothing else. Phyrexian Obliterators, I can't help adding them, but maybe they should be something else. Maybe they should just be more card draw. Like adding the 4th Bitter Blossom, another Read the Bones, and another Signing Blood, for example. But we will see. I'm also pretty excited to try out Consuming Vapors. It seems excellent in this deck, forcing them to get rid of a creature and then doing it again while gaining some life in the process, which you really need. Seems pretty good. Shriekmaws as well. That's also a win condition, obviously, but yeah. But we will see. Maybe, maybe not. The last deck I want to talk about is the first one I did. That's the one I'm most excited about, and I was discussing with one of my friends about one of the new cards in Magic Origins, and as always, when a card looks like a Power 9 card, you should get pretty excited. Treasure Cruise was busted. Now we have Demonic Tutor as well. It's basically Demonic Tutor. So I was looking at the Time Twister, which is one of probably my favorite Power 9 card, and that says a lot. But yeah, it's basically Time Twister, but you have to end the turn if it's your turn. So I've put it in a more control-y shell. So this is basically some kind of mid-range control combo. There you have it. We have 24 lands, so it's a bit low for a pure control deck. But we have some Serum Visions to get there, Remands, Snapcasters, and whatnot. We have a few win conditions in Bitter Blossom Ashok, and Notion Thieves. And here's the fun part. When you go end of turn Notion Thief, and you get to untap and play Days Undoing, you draw 14 cards and they draw 0. That's kind of the combo here. So you counter and kill whatever they do. Then you play Notion Thief, and they will have something in play, most likely. Then you play Days Undoing, draw 14 cards, keep the best 7, and they have to beat you with most likely 4 lands and 1 thing, versus your 5 lands, Notion Thief, and 7 cards stacked hand. That's a pretty tall order. Once again, I've jammed Disrupting Shoal. I just love the card so much, and it's so unexpected in Modern to have a Force of Will. So we have a pretty good amount of 1-drops, a pretty good amount of 2-drops, 3-drops, and even a very stacked 4-drop slot. So we can basically Force of Will anything relevant in the format. We can Force of Will Scapeshift and Splinter Twin, or the creatures. We can counter all of the relevant counter spells. We can even counter something like Colligan's Command, no problem. And we can also just go like turn 1 Serum Visions, turn 2 Bitter Blossom, forces them to do something. Turn 3 Ashiok with some chump blockers. Then turn 4 Notion Thief, and they have no hope of keeping up with all of that. And we can also just cast Time Twister. I mean, it's not a horrible thing to do. Not when you have a couple of counter spells and stuff like that. So I've also elected to not jam Tassigers and stuff in the deck, just because I want to try it out. The only card that I think maybe should be in here is Mystical Teachings, at least a one-off, because it can get Notion Thief and it can get Disrupting Shoal. So it could kinda glue everything together. The problem is that it costs 4, and at 4 I want to cast Notion Thieves or maybe Cryptic Command, but whatever. So yeah, that's basically this deck, and I think it could be pretty competitive actually. I'm really excited. Also, of course, depending on what lands you have, I have some Tech Edges and Dark Creeping Tar Pits to do something else than produce mana, and I think that's reasonable. 14 cards is not enough all the time, so maybe you need that. I have another Days Undoing deck in the process as well, but it's more control-y. It's gonna be kind of close to the Bant Fog deck with Thrag Tusks and Tamios that was standard legal a while ago, that I kind of enjoyed a fair bit with Supreme Verdicts and stuff. So stay tuned for that. And I haven't made it yet, but I'm thinking that maybe you can make a Storm deck with black for Dark Petition. I'm not 100% on that, because you need to get to such high mana, 5, and the payback is black mana again, and we don't have something like Tendrils or whatever. If they reprint Tendrils, then it's another thing, but now our win conditions are red in a Storm deck, so I think you need both red and blue. So I'm not sure if that's a thing, but I will try to build something there, but it's way down on my list. This, together with the other 2 decks, are the 2 I'm working on right now, and we'll see how it goes. So please tell me, what do you think? Do you like the decks? Do you think I've missed something obvious? Should I just thrash them right off the bat, or what have you? So leave a comment and we'll continue discussing there. Thanks for watching.